What's going on, fam? Just wanted to rant for a minute. I've been talking to a few people back in Cali, some people out here in the South, and I see similarities in people's thought process, questions about life and whatnot. People are starting to wonder, like, what's the purpose of all this? When the economy hits the shitters, people start questioning, like, where's their progress or where life is taking them. And you gotta really think about stuff, what matters, right? Is these moments, is these days, the struggle when you start questioning stuff. When everything's going great, the money's coming in, you're having a great time, you don't really reflect on life. But you could look up, Google the numbers or something like that. I think it's 60% or a little bit higher, because you gotta take into account most of that stuff that AI and the metadata is telling you is based on the actual people that they surveyed or population sizes, whatnot. But you got to remember, there's a lot of immigrants that came here. There's a lot of people, no paperwork, they still live here in your communities and whatnot, aren't doing too great, but they're not part of those numbers. Anyways, 60%, maybe higher. My guess is closer to 70% of the people out and about. They live paycheck to paycheck in America. 7 out of 10 people that walk by, they're doing paycheck to paycheck. That's the world that we've created here in the West. The television might paint a different picture, right? The Kardashians and these celebrities and social media, they make everything look so glamorous. But the reality is, that 70%, they watch the television and they're just trying to have a good time and sleep, get to work, on to the next paycheck to cover their bills. A lot of those numbers are skewed, because if you want to be realistic and you take into account multimillionaires that are completely destroying that curve, man, realities is different, People's bank accounts, the average in America, is probably less than 5,000 in their bank accounts. It might seem like America's the place to be, the land of opportunity, which it really is. But if you don't understand how to play the game or how to prosper, be successful out here, and I'm not saying I'm successful, I'm not saying none of that stuff, but this is the land of opportunity, but you have to understand how things work. I really don't think the majority of college students are aware. They don't teach this kind of stuff. They educate you on stuff. The curriculum is to memorize and regurgitate, particularly in whatever craft or field that you enter. But who has real life skills? How many of you people got applicable skills for reality, for life? I think, and I encourage people, do what you have to do, but have a plan. That lifestyle in the city, making money, is nice. If you have a career, man, I'm not talking about you. If you're doing well, if you're in that corporate ladder and you're bringing in 250K, whatever it is, you did great. Continue that lifestyle and see where it takes you. Even you guys, man, I would not get lost in the sauce. Have a plan, have an exit plan. If you're married, you got kids, and you got a house, think about stuff. What exactly is your purpose in this world? Is it to buy that next bigger house? Is your purpose to work your entire lifetime to have a bank account to give to the kids so they could do something with it? You look at these kids nowadays versus the kids when I was growing up, it's different. Where's the morals, the ethics, the manners, the respect? These kids are soft. They cry about everything and they all feel entitled. we, not me, I don't have kids, but even my generation as parents, all they want to do is spoil these kids, give them what they didn't have, and they think they're doing right. Man, oh man, I don't think that's the best way of parenting. Let these kids learn about real life skills and teach them how to survive. Allow these kids to grow up in reality, not in a book, not on a TV screen. Get their hands dirty. Hands-on experience is more valuable than anything. I really suggest people create a game plan before it's too late. You already see what's going on in the real world. Doesn't matter who's president, doesn't matter who's on the television. There's much more powerful people, and it's a global agenda. And what they're orchestrating is inevitable. Doesn't matter if the left or the right is presenting it, it's the same path that's gonna lead to the same ending. If you don't have a piece of land, if you don't have your freedom, if you don't have an exit plan, and you're just participating in their little charade, where do you think you're gonna be in 10 years, right? If you rely on the government, Social Security, if you rely on stocks, your investments, and your savings, even banks, man, you don't think they'll shut that bank down? Google it. Don't take my word for it. Check. Has there been a bank that shut down, that denied people money, cash, when they wanted to withdraw? When water gets shut off? When there's some kind of scare like COVID, people fighting over toilet paper? You know, be it whatever type of pandemic, natural catastrophe, earthquake. Are you prepared? Is your family prepared? That's one angle to look at it. The other angle is, what's valuable in life? What is it that you're working towards? What's the end game? Is it to accumulate materialism? Just items, houses, cars? Where do you find joy in life? And if you got a family, you can't just really think about yourself. What's the most important thing between you, your wife, and kids? You think those 6, 7-year-olds are impressed with a Mercedes? Or was that 6 and 7-year-old's best memory family vacation? You know what I mean? I think somewhere along the line things got blurred, and everybody is just on a fast track towards that one particular, the fancy lifestyle. I think even the first generation parents that came here, they got lost in the sauce, and they encouraged their kids just to accumulate and move up in the financial ladder. Love is nothing no more, man. True love, if you with someone, think about it. Did they marry you because you had that big house, the Land Rover? Or did they marry you because you could sit at home on a rainy day and play some cards, and man, that's your best friend? You had the best time of your life every single day. Where's that at nowadays? Parents are now pushing their kids, don't worry about that stuff. Just make your money, investments, follow your career. Follow your career. How long is it gonna take you to pay off your student loans, to work up that corporate ladder? The majority of people watching me are probably in their 30s and 40s. Think about it real quick. Life expectancy for a male in America is what, 75? And how old are you? So how many years you got left until your body starts deteriorating? Until you're not able to do nothing? Until you want to just sit down and watch TV? So you spent the first half of your life getting all this knowledge poured into your mind. Then you spent a good chunk just working and saving up. You write it down, do the math. How many solid years are you gonna have to enjoy this place that we live in, this world, this dunya? The majority of our good years we give away. For what reason? Alhamdulillah, I spin this camera around. I got close to 6 acres, man. Just land, whatever I want to do. I don't gotta ask Joe and Bob, yo, is this okay? Can I build this here? Yeah, there's city permits and whatnot, but small structures like fruit orchard behind me. It built I just built a beehive earlier. It's different. Everything that I'm building out here, I feel good about. That beehive is gonna provide me honey. A pile of wood is gonna provide me honey. Right behind me right here, there's potatoes growing. Right over there, that's a fruit orchard. Abundance of food. Vegetable garden being worked on. Got a greenhouse waiting on some parts. Chickens is coming. Ghosts is coming. And it's freedom out here. The air is beautiful. So far I've been here for a little bit of time, but honestly, this weather to me so far has been better than Cali weather. So what is it in California? It's that nightlife, the traffic jams. You know, if you're talking about the drinking and the dancing and the clubs, and cool, that's a whole different lifestyle. I'm talking about longevity. I'm talking about the rest of your life, setting an example for your kids, nieces, your nephews, for the future generations. Everybody's so robotic. Go to school, go to college, go follow your career. Till how long? What's that number? What is that age when you can actually walk out and do what you want to do? Where there's nobody telling you, look, this is the agenda, this is today's itinerary. Life is short, man. And I really don't think too many people are capable anymore to think outside the box. Somewhere along the line, these schools shut off imagination. That part of your brain that generates creativity, they turned it off. Everybody's systematic, robotic, one after another. It's peaceful out here. You got your freedom. Everything you need that God created is in abundance. What man created, that's back in those cities. Do I need it? It's more want, isn't it? What you need is given to you by the Lamb, by God. Mind, body, spirituality, soul, it's given to you. I guess this whole rant is to tell people, think outside the box. Time is ticking. You trying to figure out what you want to do, what makes you happy, is difficult when you're in the cities. When you're stuck following policies, rules, regulations, HOA, your work, HR, you're confined. How can you think outside the box when you got all those constraints around you? And then some people go, well, how do I escape this? Some people go, how do I escape this? Same way, man. Same way you do anything. Problem solving. Drop a plan. Brainstorm ideas. How long do you gotta work till you could get that piece of land, house, and exit? What really does that community or society provide to you that you can't do on your own? Not a whole lot. Everything that you need, you can do on your own. Everything that you need, you can do on your own. Grow your own food, provide your own safety, create privacy, create wealth in abundance. I promise you.